Hi there, and welcome to this day in history for March 30th. March 30th is the 89th day of the year in the Gregorian calendar, 90th in leap years, with 276 days remaining to the end of the year. Today's word is confute. Confute is a verb that means to prove a person or an assertion to be wrong. For example, after some research, I was able to confute the belief that fruit trees couldn't grow in this climate. Confute comes to us from Latin. First known use of the word confute is in the 1500s. Confute. And with that, the Florida Territory was created in the United States on March 30th, 1822. Ether was used as an anesthesia for the first time on March 30th, 1842, by American surgeon Dr. Crawford Long. It seems he didn't publish any studies or reports about this, though, so some other doctors sort of stole his thunder a few years later when they performed surgery using ether as an anesthesia in a public exposition, getting the fame and glory for using ether as an anesthetic. Dr. Long was first, though, and was credited thusly, albeit posthumously. National Doctors' Day was organized on March 30th in honor of the anniversary of the first use of general anesthesia in surgery by Dr. Long. This is the birthday of Dutch painter and illustrator Vincent van Gogh, born March 30th, 1853. He was quite prolific, creating over 2,000 works of art, of which about 860 are oil paintings, and most of which he created in the last few years of his life. Little regarded while he was alive, he has posthumously come to be regarded as one of the most famous and influential figures in the history of Western art. Sadly, he suffered from mental illness, depression, and poverty, and ended his own life in 1890 when he was only 37 years old. On March 30th, 1867, the United States Secretary of State William Seward purchased Alaska from Russia for the sum of $7.2 million. The inflation counter that I use only goes back to 1913, so that $7.2 million would be somewhere over $190 million in today's dollars. It was about 2 cents per acre at the time. The deal was struck on this day, and Alaska was formally transferred to the United States later in the year on October 18th. I'm sure we'll mention that again. At that time, the treaty had to be ratified by the United States Senate. People who didn't understand or disagreed with this action were absolutely merciless in their comments and derision. They called the arrangement Seward's Folly or Seward's Icebox. Many failed to appreciate Alaska's value at first. Indeed, it takes a certain kind of person and a good bit of determination to adapt oneself to life in the Arctic. Most, if not all, of the Russians that had migrated to Alaska left and went back to Russia after it changed hands. The Klondike Gold Rush in 1896 probably warmed people up to Alaska. Alaska finally became a state in 1959. And that's all I have for now. Thank you so much for watching. Give it a like if you enjoyed this video. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. Feel free to share this with a link in your email, messaging, or social media. If you enjoyed this series, you could check out the playlist that includes these videos. I'll have a link in the description to that. That description lives on YouTube, so for other platforms, I'll include the link to my blog page that will also have all those links. My blog is called No Really. And you can also find me on Rumble, Parler, BitChute, and Getter. All those links in the description. Alrighty, that's all I could think of right now. Thanks again, and I'll see you next time.